Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. We're gonna do a question and answer session right now. One question. Okay, we ain't gonna do a bunch. I'm just do one for you. This is gonna be about the question was, does Heru principle have to be mastered before moving on unto other divinities? And the answer is an affirmative yes. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Let's go. Radisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tuning in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See, where we going with this? Excuse me. Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to might not be true. All right, right thinkers, P Funk philosophy says question and answer period. And the thing we start at the bottom of the tree of life, and you got Heru, which is me and you. We start at the bottom, down here. Okay, and we gotta work our way up. And the first level we gotta go through is our ego self. That's it. Let's get to understanding who we are right quick. So the question is, do all divinities no, do Heru principle have to be mastered? In the question, that's the question. And to start off, yes. Yes. Why? Because Heru is a neophyte, an aspiration moving toward mature aspiration. Remember, he starts out as a kid, a prince, not knowing himself. He's protected and taught by his mother. This is you cultivating your spirit inside yourself. And if you don't have an aspirations, how are you going to move on to discover what the other divinities mean other than not knowing yourself? So the goal is to know yourself and know all the other divinities also. Let's go through the scale right quick. The goddess Nut. Nut represents heaven. That's where everybody want to go. That's Asar's mother. That's where he went back to in his death. She came and took him up. Nut is the one that brings you up to her, so to speak, to heaven. So that's what she represents. Heaven. Geb is earth. She raises up Asar, her son. Okay? She does not raise up Set, which is also her son. Set the ego. And so one must be able to master how to be what? Righteous, a good aspirant, to be what? Your best self. Your potential is you conquering your ego self, which is your uncle Set. So how to practice the teachings daily. Otherwise, one's aspirations will be throttled, meaning thrown off, and Set whole goal is to do just that. And that's the moral fight that's between you, your higher and your lower self, within yourself. I say that because here's the picture. You see the body, right? This is Set. This is Heru. They got a phrase in the Bible that says, devil, get behind me. Y'all call Set the devil. We call it the ego. Same concept, same person, but y'all just living outside the person. He's just like God. He's in there too. Okay, they're one and the same. I got another picture showing you next page. I'll show you when we get to that one. But Set is part of you. That's your ego self, who you identify with. Heru is your best you. You fulfilling your potential to be what? Your best self. So let's talk about how that can happen. And that's what you call an aspirant. So, and Seth's goal is to throttle you. So now even if one's very desire is to study, your intentions are good to learn the teachings. Well, even that will be throttled. Why? Because this is what Heru represents. One who very inkling, his whole goal is to study the teachings. Also, if the desire for spiritual aspiration, enlightenment, knowledge of self, if that's tainted with your ego self, aka set, your spiritual practice, okay, the egoism set, okay. Even if that person displays great devotion or they do good works, perpetrating a fraud, they will also be contaminated with what? Egoism, meaning they have a hidden agenda. They're doing it for a reason. And so that spiritual practice of that person will always ultimately be blocked because they will be prevented from moving higher because the desire for self-mastery in a person to become enlightened, that's Heru. That's becoming Christ conscious for the Christians, but that's Heru conscious. Okay? In that person, you becoming awakened to yourself. But if you, because your ego, if you pursue Heru in the wrong and ignorant, egotistic way and fashion, all you doing, you will be like those aspirants who come to the lecture and then what? Start dictating to the teacher what the teachings is supposed to say or do. Check your ego at the door. Okay, if you come into our lesson session with telling me you got to go, okay, not allowed. So they will start talking instead of what? Listen. You can't do two functions at one time. So if you're talking, you can't listen. If you listen, you should be talking. You can't do them both at the same time. And I know a lot of people who practice talking and listening, it never works out. So understand that. One thing at a time. They tell you what, you can't serve two masters. If you're talking, you're serving that master. If you listen, you're serving that master. You can't serve them both at the same time. Understand that. So because they have read of some things to get a little idea, so they think that they what? That they know what the teachings is all about just from reading a few paragraphs or a couple of pages. All right. So now they will start to selectively follow the teachers with me. If what I'm saying you agree with, yeah. But as soon as what I say you don't agree with, you subjective thinking, you're gonna he for the crap. He don't know what you're talking about. Again, that was this kind of people. But they agree with it as long as it's going along with their egoistic ideas and concepts of their intellectual convictions. If you saying what they like to hear, they with you. But in that pride and aspect of egoism, when that creeps in, you lost them. Why? Your boy TD Jakes, everything they said about him, about the parties and all that, no, they wrong. Where he at now? Some things do where there's smoke, there's fire. So again, when your ego is involved, there's no honesty there. There's no earnest in it. Why? Because you have a purpose, you have an agenda. And God recognizes that in all those people who do that. That's what we're trying to tell you. You can't fool God. Again, hold on one second. Yeah, the ego is in opposition to God. Why? It edged God out. It don't work with God. It ain't trying to be with God. So they're going to conflict there. Okay. So the egoism, this will keep you from becoming humble. Ego will not allow you to humble yourself enough to open up to what real learning. You'll be so subjective, and if it ain't matching what you think and feel, what you was told, it ain't good. So again, ego's not good leaders. But also, as an aspirant, you are Heru. In the lower aspect, however, consider this, that the people who have not been awakened spiritually, that means you're spiritually ignorant to your higher self. And there's a lot of that going around. My job is to help that. So I'm here to do just that. So for they are not even at the level of Heru. That means their spirit don't know nothing. They are like blind people or even animals of the fields walking the face of the earth, reacting and doing off of instinct and doing ignorant things, living their lives on the basis of instinctive and ignorance. And this is old. This is old. I'm seeing it, experiencing for myself right now. What I'm saying now is going on right today, and I got a problem with that because I'm seeing it. It's happening right before my face. And watch this. That's what throttles your intellectual capacity and it weakens your ability to follow the truth. Even when it stares you right in your damn face. That's ignorance at its highest level. Okay? Here we will gain more insight into the number three. The three aspects of Nikaka. Nika, Nikaku, excuse me. The flare, okay? And these are areas which to be controlled for oneself to reach mastery, self-mastery. These are things of your character you have to control. We got the physical, the astral, and the casual. Three levels of planes, three levels of plane of consciousness, which is your conscious with the physical, your astral, which is the the physical, the astral, and the dual. These are all three different levels that you have to master with yourself. Consciousness, subconscious, and unconscious aspects of your character. Hermes Trismegistus, they come thrice great. That means he's great in every area of plane that he's involved in. That's what you try to do for yourself. And it's corresponding to what we call the tie, physical, pet, tie, earth, physical, pet, heaven, astral, and the dua is the casual. That's when you meet your higher self in the dua, in the afterlife. These are all different realms, respectively. And another aspect that is represented here is that there are three basic modes of consciousness, states of consciousness, as in manifest in life while here on earth. Okay? And the instinctive level, which is one, is the intellectual level, and the third is the intuitional level. You can learn and gain knowledge, but when you reach the next level, it's going to be intuitive knowledge that you reach at the highest level. That's where our set resides. So if you were if you're operating at your instinctive level, that's lower nature, that's the beastly nature, you are no better than the animal. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You can vibrate and operate, but you're no better than the beast of the field. You ain't really human. You're really instinctive. That's animalistic. Okay? And those people are called animals for a reason. And we discussed previously why. But when you act a certain way, they call you in accordance to with the way you are acting. Right now they call it crashing out. We used to call it wilding out, beasting, wild, you go hawking. Okay. When Bruce Banner, doctor, scientist, easygoing guy, when he get mad, he go crazy. He turn to the hawk. So again, everybody got the hawk in them. That's what they try to show you. All right. But the ego is the hawk all the time. So you might not want to walk around like that all the time. That's the concept. So, but when he control his ego, he turn him off when he want to. When he want to do what he got to do, somebody just got to piss him off. No, he ain't got to do that no more. He just think about it and he can transform. Okay, so to speak, he gain control over it. One time it just hit him. He don't know what's going on. When he get scared or he get mad, you don't want to do that. All right, but it's all a personality. Again, if you are a lustful man, they will call you a wolf. Ladies, man, how, them kind of people. Again, so, and if you're a heavy investor in Wall Street, they call you a bull. Everything is based on the animal instinct that they use to describe you. Okay, understand that. So now we are physical. And consider that what? Your cow. It's the form like this, touchdown. Okay, so when you caught up in your lower nature, living instinctively, your egoism of set, when you are controlled by your lower nature, your animalistic stuff, your ka, your astral desire body, the word ka is phonetically a pun on the ancient Egyptian word meaning bull. You acting out on your bullishness, okay? And it starts to take shape. and the animal that you are mentally embodying at that time, so that you are emulating. We're trying to teach you the aspect of every god, and God is aspects of your character. Anubis, the dog-headed, jackal-headed god, he's your discernment. He represents your ability to discern right from wrong. But y'all call him the king of the order. Again, we give you the story, but y'all get caught up in the story and miss the whole damn message. Moving on. And this is why Set, which is a concept, which is a part of your aspect of your character, has an animal head. What kind of animal? Can't even describe it. Okay, it's a one-of-a-kind, unique type of thing. Okay, he does not even have an anthropomorphic aspect. He's not human. He's the dependent. He's the add-on. Again, watch this. At the time, embodying the time, this is why he got the animal head. And anthropomorphic, like Heru. See, Heru, your spirit, is represented by what? The falcon, the hawk, a bird. Okay, it can ascend, it can rise above what? This level here. That is why it's so important for you to act like your higher divinities. Better yourself. Now, if you are acting like a wolf, your ka takes on the form of the wolf. And as you know, your ka is that which gives rise to your ka, which is the physical body. So if you're acting that way, you're going to start going that way. And if the ka was powerful enough, it would actually transform the physical body into a wolf. I'm stop here for a second. Quick story about, I was watching my horoscope thing. I'm big on the zodiac. And my horoscope, which is a sea goat, a goat climbs the mountain. But at the time when all hell broke loose, the adversary came down looking to kill up all the animals, and they got Pan, represented the half goat, half man. He jumps into the ocean to hide, okay? And he became a fish. And in the middle of him transforming, he got caught. And he stayed frozen in time. That's why the sea goat is the sea goat. Why? He came from the mountain, jumped in the water, and got frozen in time. So he got two identities going on. That explains why I can ascend in the physical world. I can also descend in the spiritual and the mental world. Makes a lot of sense to me. I just put that together for myself, but I can conceive it. So yeah, that's my concept. But it's showing you the same thing here. You take on what you mimic, what you think, and what you believe or feel. In other words, and this should be strange. It shouldn't be strange to you. Why? Consider that it's a joke that what? People who have pets start to look like their pets. And yeah, and people say that, why? Because it's real. They don't just say it because they just want to say it. No, it's something to that. For example, if somebody has a bulldog, we know the phrase, they're going to look like a bulldog. Okay, person, yeah, we got all that. We did it, and it's proven. Fact. Moving on with that. So would you like to be walking on your higher ground, or would you like to curb with somebody scooping up your poop? Dogs now got to figure out what happened. And as an animal, that's if you are lucky, you have somebody who can take care of you. I got cats. I keep their litter box clean. I feed them every day. I show them love. They show me unconditional love. And that's not the way most animals are treated. Why? In the world, as possessions, some of them become slaves, sources of food, etc. Okay, I'm a pet owner. I ain't going to the next level and keep that person like too much information, TMI sometime. All right, let me wrap this up. Oh yeah, let me wrap it up. So right here, again, they're showing you, Heru and Set is inside you. I call it the moral war, that you're good and evil, your choice. If you're led by your ego, you got the consequences to pay for that. That's all. And see, Set don't care. You the one gonna pay for it, not him. So right here, Heru and Set are what you call two personalities that's in one. Okay? Higher and lower. We call it the composite divinity, Heru and Set in one personality. And as example, explained earlier, in the ordinary world, human beings, your soul is eternal and immortal. But it has made it with Nephet, which is mortality, nature. Worldly desires, mortality. So your spirit fell in love with mortality. So now, in a sense, you have now taken on the role of Set, the divine divinity who represents what? Egoism. So now you have awareness of yourself. That's again, and Carl Jung said it best, the ear. That's our identification calling card, the ego. Why? It starts to manifest within each of us on its own level. Why? From birth, we become controlled, manipulative of what? Baby crying. They want something, they cry, they get attention, they start realizing that. So they learn early, and that's the ego self. An ego just wants to be what? Satisfied. In reality, it's never going to be satisfied. It's always going to keep wanting. That's why you want to control it. Don't let it control you. So all those who are ego-driven, those are the kind of people. So you have awareness of yourself within the context of what? Being mortal, human. Yeah. Okay, mortality and worldly desires is all you want to fulfill. And you don't know that you're an immortal being, infinite. Okay, in spirit. You are ignorant of that, so you don't know yourself. Again. But the scripture also demonstrates that this combination of the Heru in you, the spirit in me and you, and the Set, he's in there too, in you, is only a source of conflict, always at what? Odds against each other. That must be resolved. Either it's going to be the ego or it's going to be your higher self. But the composite image of Heru and Set is called Her-Phi, Herfy, or the two personalities. Upper and lower, that's what they're trying to show you. Duality, that's what everything is based on that. God is the only singular. Everything else has the opposite sound. Now, it illustrates in an iconographic way that Heru is affected with an alter personality. Ego. The altar, okay? He must do battle with that personality in order to separate himself from it. See where we're going with this? This is my favorite part. Now, to throw off the unrighteousness of your personality, which is your egoism self, he, of course, attains what we call the ultimate victory. We become Heru Burdett, or Heru the warrior. But with the ultimate victory is in the form how he won the fight. He became Ujat. That's the sun disk with the two rays on the side with the wings. Okay, all encompassing. He had to put up all his powers to defeat his evil uncle. That's the concept. Okay, he had to put out all the stops. And watch this. But the journey of your self-discovery is the struggle for every individual to gain control of their egoistic personality in a lengthy and arduous one. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be hard. It ain't going to be easy. That's why most people take the broad road, the easy road, the destructive road. And it's going to require much patience and a repeated self-effort daily. Because Set is like an appendage, in a popular term, the monkey on your back. That means you got a bad habit. That means you got to get that monkey under control. Junkies, that's what they call it, the monkey, the drug, the addiction. Some men is women, some women is men. A lot of people it's alcohol, drugs, whatever it is that got you doing something that you ain't supposed to be doing. That's the monkey concept, okay? That's Set, that's the ego, okay? So in the word, so you got a monkey in your back. This would not be an appropriate reference because that's pretty much how it is. But even though Set is an illusion, divinity, he has great power. I just did the concept. Don't underestimate the power of ignorance. Set represents ignorance, and he's powerful. Oh, yeah. Okay. He has power of generation. That what? The power to generate entanglement leads you astray to fulfill what? Desires and have unrighteous actions, etc. You're living foul and wild, but you only self-serving yourself. You ain't living to do the right thing. You living to do your thing. Okay, that's the ego, in which lead a person to what? To have much expenditure of their time pursuing futile opportunities in search of what they call happiness. So thereby eventually leading to frustrations and sufferings of what? Their wrong actions that they did themselves. Set has that power to what? Lead you, because the deluded soul, ignorance of itself, has given that power to him. You gave him the power to control you. And by believing in him and letting him be the leader of you, not God, your higher self, that is believing in an egoistic thing and indulging in feeding your selfish desires and one's ego over a period of what? Constant lifetimes. Why? Because you're not serving God and you're not going nowhere but right back here, regenerating, coming and reincarnating. And set is to be overcome for that reason, and only through things and indulging, and through what? Mayat, practice virtue, and through Sabait, which is a spiritual preceptor who gives instructions from the teachings and the education of what? The wisdom and the philosophy from Aset. Hello, there we're going. As long as Set remains, your ego remains an independent aspect, meaning in charge of you, your personality, outside of the control of your conscious, of your personality, Heru, what's going to happen? Of the aspirant, that means promoting desires that's based on ignorance of one's higher self. He's going to serve himself, not his higher self. Pay attention. And there will be constant conflict, unrest, uneasiness, agitation. Those desires will thwart the spiritual progress, and there will be confusion and more failure in your mind, and consequently also in your spiritual day-to-day practice. If you're not disciplined, if you're not ready to put the work in, you're never going to get past go, so to speak, which is set, the ego. Ego can't get past it. So when Heru eventually becomes victorious, when you finally become awakened, when you finally fulfill your obligations, that's how you defeat Set. And now you gain control over him. That's what you want. Now that you control your ego, you got the best fighter you need. Why? He's going to fight off Apophis, the real evil one. Set ain't evil. He just ain't Kuf. So once you Kuf him and put him in position, oh, he's your best fighter. Right here. You always see this entropy. Entropy. If you got good, you got to have bad. This is good. Everything here is good. Even him. You see, he fighting off what? You see this guy, this Apophis. This the giant serpent. The boat is on him. Okay? His body is that big. The boat, he swallows the boat. Okay? They got to fight their way out, cut him open to get out. So that's how big he is. And you see, Tahuti and Heru, okay, your spirit, and Ra, y'all standing behind him, but look who's the one fighting. Fighting who? Apophis. That's your spirit. That's the ego. You want him to fight. Oh, you want him to fight. Why? He don't back down. That's the honey badger. Okay, so Set, oh Lord. All right, let me wrap this up. Set's greater power, if it's harnessed and put to the task of your spiritual practice, you can defeat anything. This is strongly symbolized in what? Two specific iconographs. I just showed you one where the one Set is fighting against the serpent of chaos on behalf of who? Ra. And the one on the other divinities, you got Heru and Set tying up. Here, we occupy the same body. This is the lungs, Upper and Lower Egypt. Heru, Set, tying up the trachea. That's the trachea, that's the lung. They come together, what, for the common good. They constantly showing you how two opposites come together to make a whole. That's you, upper and lower. Watch this. So let me wrap it up. Take it home for you. Well, yeah. So this is showing everybody what's up. Now, Heru and Set, they're trying to tie in the knot of what they call unity of your higher and lower self. Okay? And the lotus and the papyrus on the Samad symbol, which meaning so below. See below. So that tie-in there is no longer disorder. When Set and Heru make peace, when you conquer Set, he will work for you. He will be your hardest worker. But rather balance. No longer disorder. Now you have balance and unity and power. Here there is separation. There is separation from Set and Neftet. And now you had a capacity to move upwards on the scales, moving forward on your spiritual journey toward who? Asar, Aset, and even beyond. You going back to your parents, Asar and Aset. You about to become spiritually enlightened, and you become wise and have information, intuitive knowledge of oneself. And we call this the Heru and Set ties the knot of what you call the higher and lower self. It's called Shma, the unifying Heru and Set. The image above is a rendition of the concept which reuniting of Heru and Set and demonstrating peace between the two adversaries. The divinities representing virtue, Heru, and vice, Set, actually make peace, and in so doing, format of Sema or the union, the tie of the lotus and the papyrus plants, meaning Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, the higher and the lower self. In the same manner, the aspirant, which is you, who wants to overcome the vice, you need to engender a movement toward virtue. That's Maya. This allows your personality now to be purified and your lower nature is subdued, meaning he's going to work for you. And then now your true essential being, Heru, your higher self, emerges shining brightly to illuminate you, the individual, and all who come into contact will recognize your light with him or her, meaning you can be male or female. And this tying of the knot is also a form of Hotep. Hotep meaning the unity of two opposite aspects into a unitary whole. In the spiritual iconograph of Heru and Set, presented earlier, the two personalities are presented as though the head of Heru and Set on the same body of Heru. So Heru is in front. Devil, get behind me. He's good to have your six. You want nobody watching your back like Set. Okay, that's the ultimate guy who watches your six. So this is to realize that Set is not an external entity, but rather an outgrowth of our own personality. And he is an appendage created by our own egoism that we must control and master to know thyself, to improve and better thyself so you can go home and unite with your higher self, your father, aka Asar. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, we're about to get into the Set concept now. I just asked him a question. We're going to lesson number 7, the principles of Set. Good lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. It took a little while, but the whole idea is to get you to learn so you can be a better you. I'm back in a few minutes, but in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 miles a day. So I'm known with my right thinkers who now got the question and answered about Heru, your higher self, who passed away. I'll be right back.